What's going on, guys? It's Royalty Crypto here and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Internet Computer, aka ICP, which is one of the hottest layer ones in the space right now. I'm also going to be taking a look at the crypto market as a whole because it has been a very interesting and exciting day, to say the very least. Also, guys, this is a brand new channel, so please hit that like button and subscribe. I greatly appreciate all the support that I've been getting. But without further ado, let's start talking about this market. So Bitcoin actually did start the day off somewhat bearish as we dipped below $100,000 yet again. But since then, we have had a nice recovery back up to 103,600. But that's not even the most exciting part about today, in my opinion. What I'm most excited about is the fact that it looks like we're starting to gain a lot of traction back in the altcoin space. As you can see here, the top 10 altcoins are all performing incredibly well. And actually, when you scroll down and look at some of the smaller market cap altcoins, some of them are up like 30% plus in the past 24 hours. And it's been a very long time since we've had bullish momentum in the altcoin space. And I know a lot of you that watch this channel are heavily invested into altcoins. So if you were able to hold through the bearish times, I do believe that we will start to see some very nice rewards for being patient. And I believe that the altcoin season could be starting basically as early as today. Now, obviously it's impossible to predict that, and we could continue to see a little bit of a downtrend in the crypto market, but I believe that the downtrend is closer to being over than anything. But all right, guys, let's go ahead and scroll down to the 30th most valuable coin in the space right now, and that is ICP. So ICP currently sits at $7.60, which is a bit higher than a $4 billion market cap. And it also has an incredible 24-hour trading volume at 1.4 billion. Another very positive thing about this project is that it has 100% of tokens in circulation. So you won't be dealing with any inflation on this coin. That's definitely a positive thing because a lot of other layer ones in the space don't have the best tokenomics. So let's take a look at this chart. So as you guys can see here, ICP, just like many other altcoins, peaked in late 2024 during the Trump election rally, and since then has been on a steady downtrend. We peaked at $15 and we got as low as $2.90. But since then, we're starting to experience a bit of a V-shaped recovery. As you can see, we're currently sitting at $7.50. So if you were buying down here in the immense amounts of fear, you've already seen some massive gains on this project. So congratulations to you if you were one of the brave people that were buying at these levels. And if you were watching my videos, then you would have known that it was a great time to be accumulating because of the insane amounts of fear in the crypto market for basically no reason. So shout out to you guys. Now, would I be buying at these prices? I don't think that buying at $7.50 is a terrible price. However, you do need to be careful because we are up like almost 200% in the past week on this coin. So personally, I would wait for a bit of a pullback, maybe down to like the $4 to $5 range. And then I do actually think that this project could have a very good risk to reward for the middle to long term. I believe that ICP could potentially get to as high as $100 billion market cap during the true altcoin season. Now, the reason I believe that is because this coin has a very solid community and a ton of hype around it. So I think that if the market could start to get very euphoric, the sky is truly the limit with this coin. And even if you were buying at these prices, that would be a 25x on your money, which obviously would be incredible. Now, I don't suggest you guys buying at these prices and waiting until 100 billion to sell any of your coins. I don't think that would be a wise decision whatsoever. Personally, what I would be doing is watching some different market indicators like the Fear and Greed Index and slowly starting to sell on the way up as we start to experience some greed in the markets. And if you're watching my videos, I'll let you guys know when I think it's a good time to be taking profits, because the worst thing you can do in crypto is let your greed control your buying and selling, and vice versa as well. So yeah, make sure you stay tuned. But all right, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the crypto market as a whole. So this hasn't quite updated yet. This actually updates at 5:30, but as of last night, we were sitting at a 21 out of 100 on the crypto Fear and Greed Index. Whenever we're this low into fear, I do think it is a great time to be accumulating altcoins, because in crypto, you truly need to be doing the opposite of the herd. So if the majority of people are scared and think that we're going into a bear market, it's probably a great time to buy because you're getting just insane discounts on all of these coins. And obviously, guys, this is not financial advice, and I am not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing my opinions and thoughts on the market. So please make sure you do your own research. That is a very important thing in the crypto space. All right, guys, let's move on to a piece of news that I saw today, which I thought was very interesting. So the White House official says that the crypto market could potentially hit $20 trillion in valuation once the market structure bill passes. Now, I don't know if I necessarily think that we'll get that high, especially right away after this passes. But still, that would be incredible because we're currently sitting at about 3.5 trillion. So I'm sure you guys can make that connection to how insane of an altcoin season we would get if we were to have a $20 trillion valuation. And I believe the reason why the White House is saying this is because I think that a lot of institutions have held off on investing into crypto because of the lack of clarity when it comes to regulations. So this has been something that a lot of us have been waiting for years and years. And under the Gary Gensler administration, we were just never going to get it. Gary Gensler just loved to play games with the crypto space, and he had something against us. I'm not sure exactly what it was or if he was being paid to have those opinions, but regardless, it's so nice to see the current administration is finally pushing this market structure bill, and it looks like we should have it by the end of November. So this is quite an amazing catalyst for altcoins, if you ask me. All right, here's another very interesting piece of news. So earlier today, it came out that 8 out of 12 of the FOMC members support massive quantitative easing, aka money printing, in December. Now, I don't know if we'll necessarily get QE in December. It does seem like it's more and more likely, especially since the overwhelming majority of FOMC members now support it. But at the very least, guys, we do know that we are going to get QT officially ending December 1st. So we are moving in such a bullish direction for risk on assets. And this is the number one reason why I don't believe that we're going into a bear market anytime soon. Now, what I'm leaning towards is the fact that we'll most likely start to get QE in early 2026. Rates will continue to go down, and it's going to cause a parabolic pump in not only the crypto market, but also like the stock market and basically every risk on asset. Now, once we get that extreme greed and euphoria, that's when I believe we have a real chance of seeing a bear market. But calling a bear market now just seems way too premature, in my opinion, just because the macro has so much ammunition to stimulate this economy, even if it's not sustainable long term. All right, guys, so let's take a look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. So as you guys can see here, we still have very few long liquidations to the downside and a ton of short potential liquidations to the upside. I'm still leaning towards a potential short squeeze here in the near future, next couple of weeks most likely, that could bring us back up to the $118,000 range. Now that would be max pain for the bears, which I do believe will happen. Because whenever you see tons of money betting on the downside, it's very likely that the market makers and exchanges will, want to liquidate all of these people because they can find ways to benefit from it greatly. So definitely keep your eyes on that, guys. I think that is very, very likely. So as I mentioned earlier, Bitcoin is having quite a nice day. And we are very close to setting a higher low, which would be definitely a very bullish thing for the short term. So keep your eyes on that, guys. We just really need to push above 104,300, and I do believe that it will happen. And obviously, Ethereum follows whatever Bitcoin does, and its chart is looking very similar, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this. But it would be very nice, guys, to see Ethereum gain some momentum and hopefully push back to the previous local high from the past 3 years, which was around $3,850. I think if we can break above that and create some support at 3,800, that would be very bullish for the medium term on Ethereum. But all right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you very, very much for watching. I hope you guys have a fantastic Friday night and a great weekend, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.